All right, hour number 2. That song put on a strong performance at the Stony and Mojo Invitational this year. Proud moment. We start hour 2. Let's do a little football because we've kind of ended up right where we wanted the Lions to be, but it's not done yet. The Lions brought in Teddy Bridgewater.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it all offseason. How many shows of people clamoring for this team to take a quarterback, groom a backup, the whole bit. And I'm like, we don't need to do that. The answer is out there. It's touchdown Teddy. Now, they brought him in for a workout. No deal has come out of this yet. But here's my question. As we are now in the thick of it with camps open or opening in the next, few days, if you get one move for the Lions, and everybody knows the players that are out there, the guys who don't have a home yet, but if you got one move and it's Bridgewater or blank, what is it? Because so many of you so badly want a high-end backup. Apparently, Jared Goff is made of fine china, but you want this backup in a year, admittedly. The hype is amazing. Mm-hmm. We think this team's going to be very good. If Goff got hurt, you're dead. Hendon Hooker's not playing this year, and Nate Sudfeld is Bernie Lomax. So on that end, I understand it. The question is if this is the one move you get to make before the season. No swooping in when someone else gets released. No trades. No signing someone off the street. Would you feel totally satisfied moving into this season if you were able to obtain the services of Teddy Bridgewater?
Absolutely. Because I think for me, when I saw this move, I was actually like, okay, you know what? The Lions see things the way that I see things. You're in your window right now. You're in a win now category. Now, they're telling everybody, hey, slow the hype train down, but they realize what we all see. This division is to be had, and there's only a handful of teams in the NFC that may be deemed better than you. It's not that Jared Goff is made of glass, Mike. It's the fact that if any quarterback goes down and you have no backup, your season is over. You bring in Teddy Bridgewater, it's something that the Lions haven't had in a long time. Competition in the quarterback room. Competition just makes other people better. And if Goff goes down for 5 games or 6 games, if Bridgewater can come in and go 4-2, 3-3, your season's not over until Goff gets back there. Yeah, this tells me that the Lions are serious about winning. They're just not about, all the talk. They're actually walking the walk right now. Bringing him in, and yeah, if they were able to sign him, I would feel really, so much so, I'm almost ready to join you guys in saying they're going to win the NFC North. Because this is a powerful move. This was something that you can't rely on Nate Sudfeld to dig you out of the hole and help you keep winning. So that's why, yeah, I'm all for this. When I read this, I'm sitting there on the plane like, wow, this is a big boy move that they did, because the Lions have only had one quarterback for decades. They don't believe in bringing in 2 guys. They don't believe in the quarterback controversy, nothing like that. That tells me that they are thinking differently, that this isn't the same old Lions.
It's hard to argue, isn't it? And we all wanted Bridgewater. So here's my question. Why isn't it done? You have the money. You brought him in here. What are we waiting on?
I think it's not done because I think now they've done everything they possibly can. I think the contract is probably with Bridgewater's agent. And if you're Teddy Bridgewater, you're not going to sign that thing. The reason being, because now that the running back's done in Buffalo, Dalvin Cook, all of a sudden his stock gets higher because now there's a spot for you to play immediately. So if he signs with the Lions and he's the backup, but then all of a sudden tomorrow Dak Prescott goes down.
How come you don't sign him?
Well, they got a bunch of quarterbacks out.
And none of them are any good.
What are you talking about?
Purdy isn't any good.
They took him to the NFC title game.
Please, he got carried like Trent Dilfer.
Well,
I don't want to hear about that. If you could sign Teddy Bridgewater, you don't think Bridgewater would be the best QB on your roster?
Right, better than Sam Darnold, yes. But the fact that you got all those other guys, Mike, Purdy's only lost 1 game.
Yeah,
and that 1 game, he had his arm taken off and beaten with it.
I just had to ask. It was a brainstorm. I go, geez, Teddy could play there and be pretty good, couldn't he?
I mean, they got to sign Bosa. They got bigger fish to fry.
David, you're looking like you're ready to speak and lecture. What do you got?
No, you're just trusting in your quarterback, I see. But here's what I'll say about the Lions.
Well, at least he's normal size hand.
And I'm not going to name just one player. I'm going to name a position, and it's somebody on the defensive line, preferably an edge rusher for the Detroit Lions. Is what I want them to go out there and get. Getting Teddy, that would be an awesome move. That would solidify your backup quarterback position, like Rico said. It would do something that the Lions haven't done in a long time. And, of course, no one hopes and wishes for your starting quarterback to go out, because if that happens, your season's probably done. But if he has to miss a week or two, Teddy will be the guy that I would trust and say, you know what, he can keep us afloat for a week or two.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be over for that.
Because, David, I look at it as this. You have the defense to go out there and hang, especially in your division. Because I do look at their division a lot like this division that the Tigers are in. No team in there is great. You just have to be the best of a mediocre bunch. That's nothing against the Lions. It's just facts. Your offense can put up points. We saw them score 45 points in a loss last year. The problem would be if you lost Jared Goff, do you feel that Nate Sudfeld can carry this team and keep you winning, or are we now talking about draft picks? And that's why I said, I think you got enough on offense. I think you got enough on defense. Thank God you didn't end up killing the safety, because as soon as I saw he went down, I was like, and Mike, that's his boy.
That was a segment. I'm glad you weren't here. I did not want to hear that. We dodged a bullet. Kenny, you all in on Bridgewater like I am? Just even if you have to pay him a little more, just get him here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be done with it.
Because, I mean, I know this is the cliche, but the most SOL thing would be to ignore addressing the backup QB situation, and then Goff goes down, proceeding to submarine your season. Yeah. That Teddy Bridgewater, even if you do have to pay him an extra couple of million, I'm just do it.
That's how I feel.
Security blanket, man.
Plus,
you can stay afloat.
Think about it. Let's say Jared Goff had, I don't know, a high ankle sprain. Going to miss 3-4 weeks. You have Teddy Bridgewater, you feel like you can go 2-2 in those games. You don't have Teddy Bridgewater and you play Nate Sudfeld, you're going 0-4.
Right. And now that's right. That's the difference between making the playoffs, even as a wild card team, or you're on the outside.
Yeah, he keeps you afloat. He's not going to sink the rest of your season.
And it also tells me Lions know before people start saying, what about Hendon Hooker? He's not ready. He's nowhere close to being ready. That they brought him in here. I think they offered him everything, and now we're just waiting on Teddy. And if you're Teddy, you're going to wait to the end of training camp to see if there's a starting position available because a quarterback goes down. But I think if no one goes down, I think he's going to sign that contract here.
What are you doing with Trey Lance?
Why are you worried about us?
I was pondering this Teddy Bridgewater, if I'm Teddy's agent. How the hell San Francisco? You got one guy who doesn't have an elbow. The other dude seems like a dead man walking, and then Sam Darnold's a nothing. It's really bizarre to me.
I mean, I think Trey Lance is their hope. They invested so much in Trey Lance, they need to be right.
You got a shot to win this thing?
Yeah.
Really?
Because he's the only one out there right now. So, Mike,
you hate to see it, don't you?
But you've seen it with teams. When you spend so much on a player, you almost need to be right. So you give them every opportunity to show that I was a genius.
It's Scott Harris with Nick Maton.
Yeah. So, all right, he'll get and by week 3 they're 0-3. Yeah, you'll see him get the hook, and yeah.
David, I understand the edge rusher point of view. I do. It's the idea that when we were bringing up Bridgewater, that was just a radio idea. There was no connection between team and player. But now that he's actually come here to work out, man, I just would like to see them button this up, get it done, because Hooker's not going to play this year. Now, next year, Lion fan just has to accept that a untested, unplayed rookie for all intents and purposes is going to be your backup QB. And that's the life you chose when you used the pick on him. But this year, in the here and now, in a year, I'm with Rico. Anything goes wrong with Goff, the goals of this team are too big to hand it over to Nate Sudfeld. I would just like to know, would everyone, if this was the last move they made, are you ready to put the blinders on and enter the season and let's go do this? Because I think I would. I think I would sign up and go, you know what? There might be sexier names. There might be something else. But for this team, Bridgewater would be the one.
I mean, I did a slow clap when I read that. I had to think, wait, is this from The Onion? Is this from just some fan site? I was like, This is legit.
It's like we actually had a good idea.
This is
amazing.
right, but this is exactly what Detroit needs. They realize our time is now. Every game's going to matter. They found out the hard way how much every game matters last year because they missed out on the playoffs because they lost in week 2 or 3 to Seattle. That hurt them.
248-539-9797. David, some of the ticket text coming in. What do the people have to say about it? I know it's a backup QB, but it's important.
Someone's saying Teddy won't win playoff games. Roll the dice with Goff and get a top defensive tackle with the remaining money.
Yeah, but hold on. If you lose your starter, it is very rare, Brock Purdy, it's very rare that the other guy's going to win a playoff game. Like, there are anecdotal examples. There are outliers.
Okay, let's just talk.
Win in October.
How about this? Tell me the Lions quarterback that's the starting quarterback that's won playoff games.
Right. Well,
I'll wait.
Look at Miami last year. Great example. So Tua's been a little fragile, but they didn't have a backup plan. Well, Teddy got hurt, and you know who the backup had to be? Skylar Thompson. You're not going to win games that way. Now, they had a plan, and even that plan blew up. So the idea that you don't even have the backup plan, and you said you were going to upgrade the position, I think you got to bring Bridgewater in. You have to. Bridgewater can come into a game and save it.
Mm-hmm.
He can go into a finite window and keep you competitive. You got to have it. Because right now, I don't care who you're playing. Put a 3-game stretch out there and start Nate Sudfeld. You're going 0-3.
I'm with you, man. Because I look at this, and in the event that just, I know, blasphemy, Goff just stinks. And he's no good. You got an alternative. You know what? We can go with a guy who's played in this league, has been a quarterback before, and maybe we just need to make that move. I don't think you can do that with Nate Sudfeld.
248-539-9797. David, we'll get more of the ticket text. We'll get to the phone calls as well.